Hey there. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Blind Buys. I really appreciate you taking some time out of your day to spend with me as we open another fragrance. We just finished a seasonal pick that actually happened to be a viewer requested suggested fragrance. We'll leave it as a seasonal pick anyways, but we are back trying to finish out some of the older requests that I have. Just trying to keep in line as best I can, keeping things as fair as possible. I don't like to keep anybody waiting. I'm a bit of a people pleaser. You'll have that on the bigger size jobs. So this one is for good friend of the channel, longtime viewer, longtime caller, Lon. I really appreciate you requesting this. There's more fragrances I'd like to open for you, but this is what I have right now. This is, if you had not noticed, this is Bentley for Men Intense. I've been asked to show the box and the batch code better, so I will attempt to do so as best I can. There we are. So I have not looked at the notes for this fragrance. I looked at the main accords on our old Fragrantica Cop Out real quick. But I did happen to look at the ingredients on the back of this box. And among the long list of very difficult to pronounce chemical names, I noticed that coumarin is not upon that list. So I'm wondering if the lack of coumarin is what makes this more fit for an older crowd. I sort of assume this is not something that younger men are really vying for or trying to smell like. I believe this is a more mature fragrance than other fragrances out there. So pretty nice bottle all over. Interesting. Nothing really coming out of the atomizer or anything like that. Kind of a odd shape now that I think of it. Got little Bentley fragrances up in the top. Just little details that I kind of like to notice, but this is just cheap plastic. And we'll get really old. 1, 2, third should do. A little bit on the third. In terms of accords, we've got woody, warm spicy, amber, rum, fresh spicy, smoky, leather, balsamic, aromatic, and cinnamon. So right off the top, this sort of reminds me of like that golden wood of YSL M7, but take the oud out of it. It's not oudy at all. It's golden, musky, weird. I almost don't like the top on this. I'm not even gonna lie a little bit. It kind of gross. Really up close is unpleasant. In the air, it's not as bad. Whatever's coming off of it so far, it's sweeter and yeah, like a goldeny musk kind of, but up close, just not super good. Not a fan. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of this one so far. Probably catch it on the dry down and see what it smells like. Maybe it's one that's just not meant to be up close, or maybe this one is just not for me. You know, you're gonna have that. I don't know. We're gonna wear it for a normal number of days, or this one might actually not. I may not wear this for as long. Notes wise on our cop out on the top, we've got black pepper, bay leaf, and bergamot. In the middle, we've got rum, woody notes, cinnamon, clary sage, and African geranium. And in the base, incense, leather, benzoin, cedar, and patchouli. I guess cedar and patchouli are woody notes in the middle. It doesn't remind me of any, like, I don't know. I guess it's vaguely woody, but it just smells so departed from that. I feel like I'm getting too much up into it. I'm gonna try and wear this around for a couple of days. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super stoked on this one so far. We'll have to see how it plays out in the future, but overall, so far, not all that great. But stick around with me, check me out on the other side of the waterfall, and I'll give you my opinions for how it wore out, for however many days I wore out, batch codes, price, and that kind of thing, all on the other side of the waterfall. So thanks for sticking with me, you guys. And so it goes that if we ever want to move on to another fragrance, this chapter must close. And as such, here we are. This fragrance came out in 2013, and the perfumer is Natalie Lorson. She's quite prolific. A few of her more well-known fragrances, Fusion DC Extreme, which I have in my collection, the entire Ancre Noir lineup, the original A l'Extrême, and Ancre Noir Sport, which I put up into my lineup. I want to open that here pretty soon. She also had her hands on Givenchy's Reserve Privé, which is pretty well known. Call it a hype beast, call it whatever you want. She did that with Oliver Cresp, who has been popping up in my research. From the Garden by Maison Martin Margiela has piqued my interest, and his name is on that. It's the tomato leaf vibe that really gets me. But moving on. Batch code, we've got GOF21 or G0F21. It doesn't matter. It gives the same result on check fresh of June 2021. So this fragrance is already almost 2 years old. Pretty wild. It's getting on there. You might almost say it's gone through its maceration or whatever. It doesn't really matter. This fragrance is what it is at 2 years old. I got this off of Fragrance Net, and I paid $33.59 for it. They list 3.4 ounces on the bottle, and that gives us a $9.87 per ounce price tag. Pretty dang cheap, right? And, you would kind of think that for $10 an ounce, you're not really going to get much, but that's not true at all. Projection-wise, I give it like an 8.5, maybe even a 9 out of 10. It really pushes off of paper, off of skin. It's kind of hard to tell because you're inundated in it at all times. I kind of have to say you go anosmic to it pretty quickly. Within a couple of days, your brain's just going to shut it off and completely ignore this. Longevity wise, full day, I put down 12 to 16 hours. On my notebook, it lasted 3 to 4 days. I would say it stained the paper, not color-wise, not like if you spray it on your clothing, it's going to stain your clothing, but it stained it with smell. And 3, 4, 5 days in, could still smell it on my little workbook here, and that's pretty impressive. That's like it's not quite Dior Sauvage Elixir numbers.
I pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
But it's like, it's getting towards there. It's like giving it a run for its money. I can still smell it just sitting here right now as it is. The notes between Fragrantica and Parfumo, they differ. Fragrantica includes the rum note, which makes more sense to me. It's kind of boozy, and I call this sort of a golden musk, and that probably doesn't tell you guys much of anything. But between Parfumo and Fragrantica, it lists frankincense, labdanum, and then on Fragrantica, I'm pretty sure it's benzoin in the base. I call it like a resinous kind of thick and musky fragrance. It's just kind of, it's sweet, and I wouldn't really call it super woody. If it's woody, that's a different sort of woody than what I would imagine woodiness to smell like. Yeah, it's that musky, huffy, resinous, sweet. I'm pretty sure Fragrantica lists incense. It's kind of like that, like an incense stick without that smoky vibe to it. Incense, I really attribute a smokiness to it. This kind of smells like, like the head shop pile of incense sticks amalgamated together, not burning, just all those scents coming together, sort of like that. I tried a few different like spray amounts. I went really worked my way up, starting at like 2 sprays, going up to all the way up to 5 a couple days ago. 5 was way too much. I felt I really 4 hours in or so, I really couldn't even smell myself. Straight A Nosmic. I really think 5 is going to be too much. 2 or 3 is probably somewhere where I want to be. If you want to spray like way more than that, do whatever you want. Pay the consequences. That's on you, not on me. This took me a while to warm up to as well. And I probably should have started off by saying that this took me a while to warm up to. And really, the opening is still not my favorite. I'm not super stoked on it. An hour or so in, I kind of like it. It's pretty good. It's not awful. It's not something I would reach for super often, but it's not a complete flop. I see the reason for it. I see the appeal. And it's not because of its lacking of anything. It's just something about that opening that I really can't get past. It just takes a minute for me to like it. And a week in, I kind of like this fragrance. It's not like super awful. It's not something I'm never going to reach for ever again. And it serves its purpose. It's mature. It's different. I don't actually have anything in my collection that really smells like this. So that's kind of nice in its own regard. And other than that, I don't really have anything bad to say about it other than the opening. So find something that's as unique as you are. Wear it unabashedly. Until the next time I see you, talk to you, or anything else, take it easy, you guys. Thanks.